first thing is you have to recognize, what's your current state of mind? Are you in blame? Are you externalizing the problems and your stressors? Are you distracted by them? Do you look at them as challenges? Or do you see yourself as pretty healthy? Once you look at that current state of mind, Ayurveda is a science of self-care. We look at what self-care do you need to do? What are you doing that you shouldn't be? And what are you not doing that you really should be doing? Because when you do those things, you can stabilize the mind. You come at things from a space of relationship with them. You begin to identify those life situations as opportunities for growth rather than as obstacles or challenges. And I think the last thing is developing strategies. These are strategies, like I said, for self-care, but coping mechanisms. What do you do when life happens? Does it set you out? When you begin to recognize your own patterns, you can begin to be proactive and you can say, this is coming up and this generally makes me pretty angry. What can I do going into it so I don't erupt? Or this is coming up and this always makes me so sad and depressed. What can I do to prepare myself so I don't go into sadness and depression? These become really important ways of looking at it. So then you asked, what creates this lack of stability in the mind? Slide 6. Number 6, sorry. More. There it is. Okay.
Oh, you know that movie, right?
Right, so you're familiar with Disney's Inside Out. They did a great job of identifying these factors of emotion. Did you know there's really only 3 basic emotions? Well, 4 if you count contentment. But we look at things and we respond with either fear or anger or sadness. The dosha creates the predisposition to your emotions. When you're born, you have this quality of dosha, which we take on, because this is the place we're going to learn from. If I look at things through the lens of vata, and I interpret things through that lens of vata, then I become fearful if something happens. Imagine for a moment that you're walking down the street and a person calls you a name. If you're a vata dosha individual, you may begin to be afraid. Oh my God, what did I do? Why is this person attacking me? Oh my gosh, what am I going to do? I shouldn't walk down this street anymore. This is too frightening. If you're a pitta person, you may adopt the attitude of, who do they think they are calling me that name? What are they doing on my street? I want to mount a defense against this person. And if you're kapha nature, you may say, I remember when people didn't call names like this. People didn't act like this to each other. The same event occurs, but you interpret it through your own lens. Your lens is the dosha. I consider it a mask we put on consciousness, the way we identify with ourselves. When we're living in an unconscious state, then everything filters into the limbic brain. And the limbic brain is where we have our basic emotional responses. And if I'm vata nature, everything's something to be afraid of. And if I'm pitta nature, everything is something that needs fixing, or it needs to be adjusted. It needs to change in some way. And if I'm kapha nature, everything reminds me of how good it used to be. It was so much better before, and now it's not. And I get sad about that. Mm-hmm. When we get into a state of mental health, we go to the rational mind, and we begin to respond from, let me think about this. I see that person name calling, and I think, first off, did I do something? Was I being rude? If not, I can have compassion for them. I can think, wow, they must be having a really bad day, and I let it go.